Bellissimo. Absolutely fantastic from Italy again tonight. Best team at the tournament so far. The defensive line, the structure in the team, the patterns of play, the work rate, the energy, the ability of the individual brilliance of players, the individual brilliance that delivers. Absolutely wonderful, beautiful, scintillating football from the Italians. And to bring it to life how good they are right now, to bring to life how good the Italians are, at no point ever in the history of Italian football had they scored 3 goals in a game at the European Championships. They have now done it 2 games running. The level of intensity, the level of press, the level of desire, the speed of their play has changed. This is contemporary Italian football, and it's beautiful. It's 965 minutes without conceding a goal. Without the conceding of a goal. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. On top of that, they are very, very close to equaling and maybe at this tournament surpassing the unbeaten record. Most games unbeaten for Italy, which has stood since 1939. The omens look great. The football looks brilliant. And we're posing the big question tonight on the Football Terrace. Can you see Italy winning this tournament? Not a single person in the live comments, not a super chatter, not a caller, not a panelist, not a singular person tipped Italy to do anything major at this tournament. And they have turned up and just looked out of this world. And what's really impressive is when they battered Turkey, the notion was, well, let's see how good Italy are against another team first. And then we saw Wales today completely outclass and outplay Turkey. So there is that thought of, oh, okay, well, maybe the Italians just played a bad Turkey. No, the Italians are sensational. I need to mention Locatelli. Absolutely brilliant performance from him everywhere today. I was studying his heat map during this game and look at it. Central midfielder, but he goes predominantly left more than the right, but he was on that side of the field, but everywhere. Left, right, getting in the box when he needs to, covering at times defensively. What a midfield performance. That's his touch map today. That's where he was involved in the game, and that's phenomenal. The energy, the press from this man was great. His ability on the ball to boot was absolutely excellent. And of course, for the first time in his career, he scored a brace. First time in his career, he scores a brace. That's how good. Legitimately, that's how good this guy is. Also on that left-hand side, Spinazzola. This left back is serious. Left back or full back, however you want to look at it. The same thing again from him. Up and down that touchline, dominating both defensively and from an attacking point of view throughout the course of this game. Nothing short of sensational. Nothing short of sensational from him today as well. Lots of excellent performances. I was really impressed as well with Jorginho, that you can see covered more the right-hand side, but just shielded it. Allowed the fullbacks, allowed a Locatelli to push forward into attacking positions. And when they were doing that, he was covering and mopping up anytime Switzerland tried to come forward. They didn't, just like their group rivals, Turkey, they didn't land a glove on the Italians. Not once in the entire game. Absolutely scintillating football out of this world. A little bit of admin from us. Do me a favor and hit that like button. Share this stream. Retweet this stream if you're watching on Twitter right now for us, please. Follow if you're watching on Twitch. And if you are over on YouTube right now, make sure you don't miss hitting the bell notification button. Very, very important to the terrace that you do that. So subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos from us. Artem here says, the score didn't do Italy justice. Should have been 5 or 6-0. Been watching football for 20 years. This is the most joy I've got watching Italy play. I couldn't agree with you more. I never used to feel. I'm a bit of a football purist at times. Not always. Depends on who's playing. At times, where I love seeing great defensive displays, and Italy have done that on many occasions. Many great Italian club teams have done that on multiple occasions. What I absolutely loved about the way Italy are performing at this tournament is that it's entertaining as well as it is structurally sound. So there's a great structure. It's almost this mixture. Is that there's a kind of a accusation at the minute that some really good football teams are like robots. Everyone has a particular role and they don't deviate from this at all. The Italians seem to have this brilliant style of, it's almost, they go from being rigid to fluid in a matter of seconds. But it's almost when one person goes, they all go. So if someone presses, the team moves into press mode. They sit back for a few moments to absorb, they all do it. If somebody goes off on a tangent, goes a little bit of creative freedom, his position gets covered by a teammate to allow that to happen. The camaraderie, the togetherness of this side is sensational, and they will, in my opinion, do bits at this tournament. They've laid down a very early marker. Will they win it? No one knows at this point whether they'll win it or not. It's an opinion-based thing right now. Our poll's currently out, and 82% think, yes, they can win it. What a turnaround in the space of just a few games, 2 games. It's already turned around. They're the first team to make it into the last 16. They will definitely get out of their group. Whether they finish top of the group or not, of course, goes down to the game now with Wales. You can't imagine Wales getting anything against them, but stranger things in football have happened. One of our members here, Jesse Dyer, says with a super chat, Italy are by far the most balanced team at the tournament so far. It's going to take a lot to beat them. I think the one weakness in this Italian side, and I know they've scored 3 goals 2 games running, I don't think they have a prolific strikers. So like Immobile tonight, his goal was good, but he missed easier chances. Insigne, same thing. He misses a lot of chances, which I think higher caliber players could put away. So when they go up against better teams, and at some point they will play Germany's, Portugal's, Spain's, France's, dare I say England's, they're going to need, they may not get as many chances in these games as they've mustered against Turkey and as they've mustered against Switzerland. That would be my only area of concern for them. But overall, the balance is great. The play is excellent. And they look like a real dangerous outfit. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. A lot of people in the comments talking about the news about Sergio Ramos tonight. Yes, it's confirmed he will be leaving Real Madrid. We'll be covering that in the morning on the Done Deal show. So make sure you're tuning in from 9 a.m. tomorrow live when we go through that. Saha here says Jorginho was the best player. He was excellent. He was excellent. A few people here saying Immobile is world class. He is sick. He's a good player. I'm saying I thought I've seen him miss quite a few chances so far in this tournament. Although, so for me, that's my point. Is he going to get the abundance of chances he did tonight before he scores? I don't know. That's the only area. And it is nitpicking here. Am I saying Immobile is a bad player? Those words did not leave my lips. They didn't leave my lips. Not once did I say that. So stop trying to twist it. Stop trying to act all hurt and looking for something controversial. There isn't anything. He's a class player, but I don't look at him so far as having been, him and Insigne, they haven't been prolific. You know, they haven't been prolific. And I do think as well, like, this was the first, he's done it 2 games running now, but up until this, you know, no goals at tournaments for him, although Italy hadn't qualified for many tournaments in recent years. That clinical edge is going to need to be slightly better, I think, as and when they go up against higher level opposition. That's just how I feel. That's how it feels to me. Let's do some more comments here. Italy are looking sick. They do. They look absolutely sensational as a team. And Chelsea transfer gossip here pulls in something that I didn't even think about throughout the whole 90 minutes. Verratti is still to come into this side. Barella, yeah, quality player, no doubt about it. No doubt about it at all. Absolutely sensational. The Gooner Express says, Spinazzola for breakout player. He looks incredible. He does. He looks sensational. The only issue is he looks like he has no left foot because he should have taken a shot on his left foot earlier. So I suppose that's a weakness in his play. But in terms of his overall performances, out of this world. Super chat here from Jerome says, Italy look like a real unit and they are not just dependent on one player, they might actually win the tournament. But the lack of finisher like Germany might be an issue. It could be. Listen, and Immobile, I think Immobile's got there's always a lot of pressure on the Italian because of who Italy have had as strikers in the past. It's always a role that has, in my opinion, has a huge level of pressure around it. The same as centre-backs for England, because of who Sir Bobby Moore was. And we always had great centre-backs for probably, even when we were crap, we had great centre-backs. There's always this pressure on centre-backs being this powerhouse of this, the spine and the real strength of a England team. I think Italy have that they do have it with defenders because they're great defenders, but I think that striker element is a pressured role with the likes of Inzaghi and Del Piero, who have played in that position and been so magnificent for their country. There's always pressure. And I think Immobile's feeling that, but he's got 2 goals in 2 games now. And if he starts to find his feet, if he starts to relax a bit more and isn't snatching at some of those chances, and he finds that goal, that earlier goal scoring touch, the breakthrough goal scoring touch, then Portugal's crown and France's favourites is being challenged right now. A marker has been laid down by the Italians, no doubt about it whatsoever. Monsieur here says, didn't expect Mancini to turn Italy into an attacking force. Do you know what? Like, Roberto Mancini was, I think, he's an underrated manager. Won league titles in 2 different countries. He just didn't do it in the Champions League. But what he's been able to do is take Italy into the 21st century of football, still keeping their core fundamentals there. They're solid defensively. And that's where you have to look at it and say, now, I know that they haven't played a team of Germany's quality yet, but a Germany with a finisher could have got something against France. The real test is going to be when Italy go up against a powerhouse, and we're not going to know yet. They haven't got one in their group. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. But what Roberto Mancini has done, the way he has transformed Italian football, the way he's got them playing as a unit is nothing short of spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. We're going to go to a few people here saying Jorginho is so disrespected. No, we mentioned Jorginho. We highlighted him earlier. You may not have been on the stream, Nathaniel, when we spoke about him. But I will say this. Jorginho is disrespected from even a lot of Chelsea fans that do not see how good and how important he is. It isn't just what he does, it's the way he speaks. Did you hear what Sam Matterface said? I then sat there and Googled it and researched it. His Italian teammates call him Radio because he's always talking, he's always orchestrating, he's always communicating with his teammates. He is the anchor in the middle. What I love about Jorginho, and I've always said this, he reminds me of Michael Carrick. Nothing spectacular, nothing that makes the highlight reel, nothing that people go, oh, wow, and sit on the edge of their seats for, nothing that's going to be named after him. Isn't that boot manufacturers don't want players like him as their star people. Kids don't grow up wanting to play like him, but they are the gravy on the roast dinner. You can have the best beef, the most amazing organic homegrown vegetables that are boiled and grilled respectively. Depends on what the veg is. You can't grill everything, people. You have to sometimes boil it. The best veg in the world, the creamiest mashed potato, the most gigantic crispy Yorkshire puddings. You have all of that with no gravy, it's shit. And he is the gravy. The gravy. And maybe I shouldn't use gravy. Maybe we should be speaking a bit more about Italian cuisine, but I don't know it intrinsically enough to start talking about what goes with what. So I'm going to stick with a food I know more about, which is British roast dinners. But the point remains. The point remains. I'm going to go to some more of your comments here. And honestly, if Chelsea don't ever want Jorginho, send him up the M1, up the M6. In fact, I'll drive. I'm not that far from Cobham where I live. I'll drive around there. I've got a decent car, Georgie boy. Let me go pick you up. I'll drive you to Old Trafford. I'll pay the fuel. I'll even buy you a sandwich. I'll buy you a meal deal on the way up there. Go stop at Boots. Do you know what I mean? No, Marks and Spencer's meal deal. Crisps, sandwich and a drink for you, mate. I'll do it. Levi here says, I see you all doubting Wales, calling Turkey dark horses. Bow is my captain. Put some respect on his name. Levi, I did say that Turkey were dark horses. I didn't write Wales off. On my personal prediction, I put Wales. I think I put Wales through to the quarterfinals. And all these football terrorists, man, in the group chat, like, I'm just backing in because they're British. No, I knew what was coming. I knew what was coming there. I had your back there. Andre says, as Swiss, I'm really embarrassed by this. Too slow, too sloppy, too lazy. Why can't I even say the word there, the name? Petrovic out. Many of those players need to leave. Xhaka out. Severovic out as well. My brain isn't working with the names today. My brain isn't working with the names. I'm very sorry. DJ TK says, need to see this Italian side against a proper attack. Don't feel like they are on France's level yet. They may DN look ordinary. They may end up looking ordinary. Yeah, listen, they could. That could legitimately happen. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. That could legitimately happen. We've got to wait and see. What I will say is this. They're on nearly a 30-game unbeaten run and haven't conceded a goal in 965 minutes. That's basically 10 games. They've played good teams within that run as well. Of course, this is top competition football and it's different. Karim here says, Locatelli and Barella are ballers. Yeah, they are. They are. They were excellent in the middle. They were excellent in the middle. And these are just two players whose names have on the football terrace all year. No one's been chatting about these guys. You know what I mean? They probably don't have great cards on FIFA. They probably aren't listed as wonder kids or stars on Football Manager. But they're excellent. They are excellent, excellent players. And I've been thoroughly impressed for what it's worth. And even more so, I've been entertained when watching them. And I think that is something a previous comment mentioned earlier. But that's something I would probably say in years gone by, I haven't always felt. And in terms of the teams that just so everybody knows, Locatelli plays for, who's he play for? How do you pronounce that? My dyslexic brain is not coping. I can read it, but I can't say it out loud. Barella, of course, at Inter Milan. How do I pronounce this word? I'm going to have to run it through Google Translate because my brain, you guys can write it all you want. Some of you are writing how to say it. I have no idea how you pronounce that at all. Legit. My brain's like, nah, mate. So how do we say this from Italian? Hang on.
Sassuolo.
How am I meant to read that? Let's do it in English.
Sassuolo.
No, that can't be right.
Sassuolo.
Sassuolo. That's a really hard way to speak. Don't laugh at me for being dyslexic. I can't read it. My brain just goes, nah. I love that break rack. He's like, Sassuolo. Is that right? Sassuolo. Right. Okay, cool. I just run it through Google Translate. It helps. But there we go. A lot of people just writing it. Sassuolo. That helps a little bit there. But you got to remember, I'm dyslexic. I don't even remember the sounds of letters sometimes. So people sometimes spell it out for me nicely. And my brain, this is what my brain talks to me. My brain chats to me, right? And sometimes it just goes, looks at it. Nah, mate. I'm like, can I read that word, please? Nah. Please let me just read it. Someone's broke it down into like, sometimes people break it down so much it has additional syllables. And I'm still like, my brain just looks at me and says, nah, mate, I'm not letting you do this. But there we go. There we go. We're going to go to the calls now. We've got Cam backstage. We've got Daniel backstage waiting to have their say. First up, Cam is here. What are you saying, bro?
Damn, Italy. All right. I want to talk about the manager because, like I said, it's like not like I watch a bunch of Italian football this year or anything, but the history of Italian football is defensive football. You score that one goal, you kind of go up, you chill. That's just the history of it. I'm not saying anything this year of what I've seen, but if you look through the past, if we go through a lot of tournaments, that's how they've won. Mancini's come in and been like, no, we score a goal, we keep going, we keep going, we keep going. There's clearly a philosophy there that's changed, which is great to see because defensively, like this whole thing of like, wait till they play a good attacking side, Breland Bola tore Wales apart. And you know what Italy did today? He had 4 touches. I think he had 4 touches, not a single touch in the box. They planned. They went out there and they were like, well, we're going to stop him. Like, if we're going to say that they're going to have sure, maybe they will struggle against the better attacking side. But what we're seeing is that they game planned for Switzerland's best attacker, and he didn't even see a sniff of the ball. So I don't think coming out and being hypothetical, being like, well, if they play a better attacking side, they're just going to look like crap. Like they haven't They're conceding, like, they're not conceding goals. They look great. Like, nobody at this stage right now, they look, just based on what we're seeing, they look like one of the favorites. Yes, Switzerland's not that great. Yes, these other team, Turkey's not that great. But if you just watch the football that was being played, damn. And then kind of like what you said, I disagree a bit on the Immobile and Insigne thing. Like, yeah, they're not super clinical, but they had the chance. Like, at the end of the day, what's the big rule with strikers? Just keep getting them the chances. They'll end up scoring. Like, that's what happened with Immobile. He just kept getting. He should have had 3. If we're going to be completely honest, he should have had 3. On a different day, he has 3. So as long as those chances are being created, which they are, he's going to score goals. Like, it's just, and I'm confident in that because I actually bet on him to be one of the top scorers, right? It's just chances being created against the competition. That's all you need. So they seem to have the whole everything into, like, all of it's working right now. Their midfield looks fantastic. Locatelli's going to be rumored to be going everywhere after this tournament. We already know that. It's like it's just how the Euros work. He's going to be.
Yeah, I think Fabrizio's tweeted already. It's race is open. He put, yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous, but he played well. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Italy. I think they look great. Like, it was like you said, I'm entertained. Watching them play was fun to watch. Like, from all facets of the game, they seem to be completely in tune. And then the final thing, the mentality these guys are showing, how pumped up they look. Like, it feels like they're taking shots of adrenaline before the game. Every play, every big thing, they're turning red veins through their necks, like losing their minds. That's a team that's fired up, and it's fun to see, man.
At the risk of sounding inappropriate, well, I'm going to say it. That for me is Italian passion, and I've seen it. I've seen it for many years. It's like every goal is the winning goal of the tournament, and I love it. And do you know what? I've been very fortunate, and I used to compete a lot against a lot of Italians. Same thing, passion, enthusiasm. You know, in the moment, the desire to win of Italian people at sport is sensational. You know what though? In defeat, or when they lose, humbled, respectful, an absolutely brilliant sporting nation. There's no doubt about it. And it is brilliant to see the way they just all got together to celebrate. And you just want to see that from teams because, you know, you never know as a player. You never know if it's your first tournament, your last tournament, your best game. You don't know when you're going out. Like, enjoy that ride, you know. And what I like about Italy is it's like every game, they're just playing in isolation, and then it's to see what happens next, and they're celebrating it in the right way. And yeah, I agree with you. It's great to see, and I think I wouldn't call them dark horses. I think they've legitimately cut the odds down. They are one of the top 2 or 3 favorites now, in my opinion, to win this with the markers they've laid down. 2 games running, 3-0. That very rarely happens at this level of football.
Yeah, I agree, and I think based on like the passion thing, I can't remember where I read it. But I read it somewhere. Mancini's philosophy for the team this year is like every player's renting their shirt. And when they give it back, it needs to be destroyed. It needs to be drenched in sweat. It needs to be. So he has clearly drilled into this team a philosophy of, we're going to go out there and leave it all on the pitch. Like, it's not there's at no time do I want to see you slacking. I like how he's using his subs. He's getting 5 subs in just to be like, everyone's going to get their run out. Go out and show me what you can do in the time that you have there. So it's all working for them, man. I got nothing bad to say about this Italian squad. I'm looking forward to see them in the quarters against better teams, because that just means we're going to see some great games moving forward.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna see some wonderful games. And what I love about the passion element is, for as technically gifted as they all are, for as brilliant as the system is, as wonderful as the patterns look, as great as the defensive stability is, none of that works without desire and the passion they have for that badge, and they're working hard for it. None of it works. And I think this is where, of course, there are some players who lack ability and have great passion, and that is what it is. But without that desire, it matters not how good you are, you're not going to achieve. And I think if you look at the best teams, international teams in the world, they have this collective togetherness which is stemmed through national pride, and you can tell that each and every single one of these Italian players that on the, forget the ones that even played, the ones on the bench watching it, there isn't any I should be playing. They're all in it together. And I love it. It isn't just Italy. I'm sure that 95% of the nations feel like that at this tournament. The Italians, though, just have this I think this intrinsic, historic and kind of cultural ability to show their passion in a particular way, and I think it's infectious. Really, it's why so much of Italian culture is so popular around the world: food, movies, music, and whatnot. So there we go.
It's also why they don't leave the league. Really, if you think about it, the best Italians, other than like Verratti, really, like most of the time they stay in Italy because they're just so proud of their country and they're proud of being there. Like Locatelli is going to Juve if he leaves, in my opinion. Like that's he's going to leave Sassuolo and go to Juventus because that's what you do. Like I see any kind of Italian who's a big name Italian, they want to go play for Juventus, and I would not be surprised if that's where he ends up. Just solely because if you're Juventus, you always want the best Italian players. They love their country so much that you don't see a lot of Italians peppered around different leagues. You see some, but it's not like other nations where you can't see them peppered around. Like if I think of big name Italian players like Verratti, who like off the top, like help me out here. Are there any?
I cannot think. Jorginho is
Jorginho. Yeah, sorry, that's it. So two big name Italian players that are playing outside of their leagues. That's wild. Like,
is Insigne at PSG?
No, Insigne is still in. He's on Lazio or one of those.
PSG? Is it someone's
no, Verratti. Verratti's at. It's just Verratti.
Is it okay? I thought.
Yeah, I don't think
the majority are. Yeah, I again, yeah. Immobile.
He's at Napoli. Napoli. And Insigne. I think Insigne is at Lazio. And then Donnarumma is now going to PSG. But that's because that's all on his what's he call it, Mino Raiola, right? And there's no place for him in Italy. Like he's going to go. Like,
you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Icardi. Sorry, my brain. I said a brain.
Icardi, but Icardi got forced out, right? He got forced out.
Yeah. There's not. But the thing is, and again, there'll be a few. Moise Kean as well is an Italian out. But as you say, that's 3 or 4 people. They've got a 26-person squad. I bet if you went through it, it's the vast majority are in Italy. And it used to be more. You very rarely used to see Italian players in their prime anyway, like venture elsewhere as an example. And I know Icardi isn't Italian. I know he's not Italian. I just in my head, I don't know why I got Icardi and Insigne confused. Maybe it's their height. I'm not too sure. And then someone's saying Icardi's not short. But there we go.
Backman's Italian. I'm sure he's born in Argentina with Italian players. I'm with Italian players. I'm quite positive. I'm actually positive that's probably the case with Mauro Icardi. If you think of his name, that's a very Italian name. Very Italian. And
Italian. I swear I've seen it. And again, this is more just in passing. I swear I've seen in recent years. Like it might have been an Argentinian gentleman who was playing for Italy. I swear he used to have like long hair. I can't remember his name now. There's a connection between the countries, I do believe. Yeah. But so listen, they've super talented players. The way they work together as a team is absolutely sensational. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Listen, mate, thank you very much for coming on, having your say. Really appreciate it, buddy. And I'll speak to you very, very soon. Top man. Thank you. Someone said, someone said here? His grandparents were Italian. Oh, that kind of makes sense. But yeah, I wasn't suggesting for a second that Icardi played for Italy. I don't know why. I thought Insigne was at Paris Saint-Germain, and I got confused between the two players. There we go. We all can all make mistakes. This is very, very much allowed. But there we go. Some of you love to jump on. Some of you jump on mistakes like a bitch in heat. It's a madness, brother. It makes me die. Baz says here, Italian. I don't know what that says. Dystopia. I can't read that word. In the early 1900s, it's like in America. Okay, so like there's a lot of Italians went to South America in the 1900s. There we go. I knew there'd be a reason for it. So there we go. OO says so rattled. Not by you, my friend. Oh, there we go. Right, what we looking at here? Maradona played in Italy. Thank you, Terry. Don't worry, you try your best. Listen, I'm really not worried. I got a couple of players confused in terms of what clubs they were at. It's not deep. You guys are making it real deep. I do think there's some people that sometimes watch my streams like, is Terry going to make a mistake today? Is he going to say the wrong name of a player or a team? Well done. I had a slip of the tongue. Woohoo! Imagine that highlight in your day, you know. Thank you very much, Mod Stony Music. I appreciate that. Right. My mum slept with an Italian sailor. Well, good luck to her. I hope she had a good time. Dyslexia is tough. Listen, I'm at peace with it, my brother. I'm all good. Daniel's with us now to have you say. What you saying, Danny?
You saying, bro? How you doing?
Don't make any mistakes. They're on it tonight. Not one mistake. One.
I'm gonna try my best, man. Gonna try my best. But now, man, Italy. I think it's typical social media for them to win 3-0 twice. And the first thing is, let's wait till they face a better team and all of that kind of stuff. I just think that's all waffle, man. Like, they're obviously, you can only beat what's in front of you. We've seen many a time big teams go into tournaments and face a lot of teams and a lot of lesser teams, and then obviously they end up missing out. And it's so funny how Turkey are now rubbish. Before they were everyone's dark horses, and obviously Italy made them seem very, very like normal. And then obviously we spoke, and you sent a voice note saying, now, are Turkey actually that good? Because everyone had them as their dark horses and no one really watched it. But at the end of the day, again, Italy have only beaten what's been in front of them. And that's all you can do as a team. The thing I wanted to point out that I don't think is being stressed enough is their manager, man. Like, let's not get it twisted. Roberto Mancini is a world-class manager who wins titles wherever he goes. And winning a title with Italy would crown his illustrious career. Like, I know he's got a Premier League. I'm very sure he's got a Serie A, probably missing a Champions League. But he's a very, very top quality coach who's been around for a while now. So yeah, man, he's got all of them players playing to a very nice song, and I like them. They're my team, man. If there was one team that I'm supporting and rooting other than England, obviously, it would be Italy, man, for sure, because I really like them. I guess it's the Jorginho as well. I'm one of Jorginho's biggest fans too. So because I've been saying that this guy, when Pep wanted him, if he went to Man City instead of Chelsea, he would have been considered world-class ages ago. It's just because it's taken a while. Chelsea didn't win so many titles with him under Sarri. He was teacher's pet and whatnot and all of that kind of stuff. So finally winning the Champions League has put him in the light now where people are starting to respect what he actually does. And yeah, man, you just can't underrate, you literally said it, the Carrick thing, the composer effect. Guy who will never take the headlines. He'll never be the guy to score a 30-yarder, bicycle kick, nothing like that. He won't even get into the box like Locatelli did, but gets the job done. Quietly just keeping everything ticking, a nice little metronome, playing everyone to the same tempo. It's just great to have someone like him in the team, man. But yeah, man, they're a good team. Good team.
No doubt about it. I mean, the Jorginho thing, it is what it is. It's he's absolutely sensational, and it's. Do you know what I think it is with a lot of what do you know what I really love about a lot of our viewers, and not our viewers in general, but like football fans, is everyone tries to pretend they have this impeccable palette and watch everything, understand everything, know everything. But do you know what? Most people that consume the Premier League end up falling into this bias thing of certain things get you noticed from as being a midfielder. Goals and assists, of course, get you noticed. And being a smasher, crash and bang merchant in the sense of, you know, going into hard tackles, sending people up in the air, you know, being a bone cruncher, that gets you noticed as an example. Certain players, though, just don't. There's some players have a more subtle approach to their game. And I think of Busquets. I think of Michael Carrick. I think of Jorginho. These players are of that same sort of ilk where it's a little bit more subtle. It isn't their game is not based at all on athleticism or speed or covering of the ground. It's they have to be more intelligent, because they don't read the game. They can't make it to where they need to be because they don't have the legs, say, of an N'Golo Kante. Now, that's not to suggest before someone does, because this is how everyone's brains work. I'm not suggesting that N'Golo Kante doesn't have intelligence and can't read the game. Of course he can. But if he makes a mistake, he has that ability to recover himself like any player with speed. That's why I respect players that are slow in footballing senses against their contemporaries. I respect them for performing at the highest level on a consistent basis, because they have to purely rely on footballing ability and not their athleticism to get themselves out of trouble. It's why John Terry, love or loathe him for what he did outside of the game, that's why I was always so impressed with him, because this guy was a slouch, but yet he managed to dominate for 20 years at the highest level as a centre back. That is sensational, and I think that deserves a lot of credit. There's no doubt about it. And like, I think Jorginho anchoring this team, you've still got Verratti to come back. I'm very intrigued, because I don't watch Italian football, as to whether or not where he'll come back in. You know, Jorginho, I assume he'll sit still and be in that central role, and it will be Verratti coming in either side of him. But maybe there's a train of thought right now to say, you're just going to be on the bench, because why would you break this team up right now?
I think the variety thing is interesting, because it's not like, it's tough, because it's not like a normal player. Verratti is one of the best midfielders in the world, so I do think he comes straight into the team. I think he'll definitely be for Barella, the bloke who plays for Inter Milan, I believe. So I think Verratti will come for Barella. Then you have Locatelli, who's got the third man runs. You got Jorginho, who's the composer, and then you've also got Verratti, who can also play intricate passes and can almost break the lines, ball progression, and all of that kind of stuff. But they've got a very good, neat, tidy team. Like, I don't know if you took particular notice of the left wing back Spinazzola. I think he's shown himself to be someone who a team might be looking at. And obviously it might be tournament hype, but boy, he's looking real good. He plays for Roma, so Jose Mourinho is going to obviously be loving him.
Yeah. He teared Man United apart in the second game of the Europa League semi-final. But it was one of those things where you sort of take it with I took it with a little bit of a pinch of salt.
Yeah. You thought it was just it's just one of them things.
He was good. And then I've seen him again and again. He's looked very, very good indeed. And do you know what's interesting? Most of the top Premier League clubs are quite comfortable with left backs right now. If this was 12 months ago, 100% he would have been thrown into the mix with the Alex Telles and the Alex Telles, the Regulons. And who's the left back, by the way, whose name hasn't been mentioned all season? I swear I want to say plays for Ajax. His name eludes me now. I want to say it's Ajax. And every club wanted him. Every player, like fans everywhere wanted him a year ago. And now I haven't heard his name mentioned. And that's why I've forgotten his name. Tagliafico.
Oh, Tagliafico. Yeah.
I mean, by players going in and out of fashion. And Ross I've been very impressed with him. But what you'll see is people are going to now start talking about Spinazzola. You know what's going to come with it? It's going to be that over exaggeration as well, which I'm just really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to seeing the first people that start saying better than Chilwell, better than Shaw, better than Tierney or Robertson. You know it's coming. It's just going to come, isn't it?
100%. 100%. One thing I did want to make mention of is that, and obviously it's a bit kind of separate to obviously the game that's happened today, but I think Liverpool could win the league next year. And the reason why I say that, and it's mad random, but I'll link the dots right now. Basically, I'm just looking at their team, I don't think Scotland go far, so Robertson's going to be back. Van Dijk and Gomez have been working hard together in the squad. Mane and Salah obviously aren't playing any competitions right now. They're all back in the team. I think you've only got Firmino and Fabinho who are at the Copa America. Robertson, obviously, like I said, comes back. Trent is still there, probably going through rehabilitation as well. Whilst every other top team has guys going far into the tournament. Do you know what I'm saying? Every other top team has guys who are probably going to be late, who probably even might not be able to start the Premier League because they need rest and whatnot. And maybe the team who starts quickest might have the last laugh. So I just think all these narratives might play into it. And we've seen, I think a reason why the quality hasn't been as great is because guys have just looked tired. And it's understandable because of the schedule. Like, everyone looks tired. So imagine you look at a team like Liverpool now, with all their guys coming back. Like, I would be worried about them because they're not going to have the same amount of stress and same amount of matches played like all these other big players of other big teams. So it's just something to keep an eye out for, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. I think it's a really good point. Liverpool will benefit from that. I think like the likes of Van Dijk not going, because players have done that in the past, rushed back, played in internationals or summer tournaments, and it's taken them too long to get ready. So they definitely could. Listen, mate, thanks very much for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate that, mate. Top man. Thank you. A few people are telling me that Tagliafico is still world class. I again, where did I say he's not a class player? I said fashionable. A year ago, everyone was talking about my club's got to sign him, got to sign him, got to sign him. I don't think his name's been mentioned on the channel for 8-9 months. Why? And then suddenly now Spinazzola is being mentioned by people. Oh, my club, Locatelli. People don't watch these. I don't claim to watch it. Nor do you. You just pick up on trends of players when they do something great, or they're in the newspapers, or they get a great FIFA card. That's how people know. Next on the show, Ziad is with us. What are you saying, Ziad?
How's it going, Terry?
Yeah, I'm very well. Yourself?
Yeah, thanks. You. I'm good. Just really impressive from Italy again. We saw against Turkey what they could do, and personally, I was very impressed by how they play. Of course, Turkey. We thought the question maybe Turkey not that good. That answer was obviously when Turkey played, but I think your guess so far get it correct. The manager, what he has implemented into the squad is quality. The fact of like you see the Italy players when they're singing the anthem, passion, willing to get on that pitch, giving 100%, winning 3-0, still chasing the ball, want to score another one. The different types of play we see during the game, for example, being able to play out the back, allowing Switzerland to have the ball, yet being so deadly on that attack, even when they want to control the ball with Jorginho, being able to just play about, so being able to switch the play, use the width of the pitch. It's just the way the way the manager has implemented the squad and is using the squad to his ability is second to none. And you pose the question of can they win the Euros? 100% they can, but one thing I think they may feel a negative maybe is when they do face the Portugals, the Germany, the France. Will their defense be able to cope with pure speed? If you know what I mean, like when a Bonucci and Chiellini come against an Mbappe, that changes the whole aspect of the game. If you that's why I feel like they may struggle.
Maybe, and I think that's a fair point, and it's going to be one of those bridges that I'm sure we will cross at some stage as viewers when it comes to that. But I think everything you've said is absolutely fair, and of course there's still question marks. And I suppose they'll be answered in the latter stages. Ziad, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say top man. Thank you. Next on the show this evening, Tom Little is here. What are you saying, mate?
Italy are looking good, aren't they? They're looking really good, and it's because they have a strong contingent that play in the same league together, and that league has a similar style, so it's very easy to move over. Look at Turkey. They were looking like the dark horses. Look at the individual quality, but it didn't transpire well to a team. Italy have the individual quality, but it's transpiring really well. It's looking like it's a club team. They wouldn't look out of place in the Champions League. That's how good they're playing. That's how well gelled they are, and they could go far. The only thing that scares me, if I was an Italy fan or if I was back in Italy, would be I don't see Ciro Immobile as a cold-blooded killer. When it gets in front of goal, he can score, but when the pressure's on him, I don't see it happening because he couldn't hack it at Dortmund. He's only been able to hack it in the Italian league, which, don't get me wrong, is a great league. But when he went elsewhere, he really struggled. And I just wonder whether all the pressure, all the bright lights on him, if it comes down to him for Italy, I don't know whether he's up to it.
Mate, you could be right on that. It's as you say, it's going to be an intriguing one to see how it all transpires and moves forward and how it develops. And we have seen at tournaments before teams look excellent in the group stages and not so much in the knockout. So we could all go right. Italy, absolutely. It's opened up for them. They're going to be finalists. I was actually looking a moment ago then at the predictor that we did on the terrace. I'm just going to go for it now. So we put Italy winning their group as an example. So if Italy win their group, it means they we actually thought that who do we put as coming? We actually put Ukraine coming second, Austria third, North Macedonia. But it's going to be Austria or Ukraine that comes second in that group. So the next game is going to be against Ukraine or Austria. I would fancy him to go through. It's then highly likely to be Belgium in the next round. So in terms of, it's going to be the quarterfinals, in my opinion, before Italy come up against a team that I think has the overt quality throughout to like really test these question marks that people have. But I think by then their confidence is going to grow, their togetherness is going to get even deeper, and it's going to be really hard. And like their route will actually see them play France in the semi-finals most likely, because France are probably going to win their group. If Italy and France both win their groups, then they'll meet in the semi-finals, not the final. They won't be able to meet in the final. I think that's impossible. So yeah, look, it's going to be an intriguing one to see what happens in relation in relation to that and the players that are there. But yeah, a good day overall today. Like Wales done well as well, didn't they?
Yeah, Wales done really well. Daniel James had another great game. Bale, he proved me wrong. I was wondering whether he was really here. What a performance from him. You know, they're looking strong. Turkey, how many people have been robbed by them? Dark horses going into it, not a single point and not a single good performance.
The bookies have made an absolute killing. The amount of people that have put different bets on them, not winning it, but bet them to get out here, do this, do that.
Get to the knockouts, get far into the knockouts, cause an upset here or there. It's just not winning out for them.
Everyone's been hoodwinked.
Good. England look good. Time for Scotland to turn up and get the third home nation through.
Well, I hope they don't do that on Friday.
Save it. Go beat Czech Republic. They've already lost them. Go beat Croatia.
Go and do that. Can you imagine? Imagine it's not going to happen. Can you imagine all three British teams in the knockout stage? That'd be amazing. That'd just be from a home nation's point of view. That would be scintillating. And industry wise, it'd be great because everywhere, the bars, the restaurants, the feel good factor would remain. So I doubt it'll happen, but I would definitely love to see it. Listen, mate, thanks very much for coming on the show and having your say again, Tom. And speak to you soon, mate. Top man. Thank you. Everyone who has tuned in tonight, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Midnight Vibes is here in about an hour and 20 minutes, so make sure you're tuning in for that. I'm back tomorrow morning with the Done Deal Show live at 9 a.m. Make sure you're there. Big Arsenal news coming on that show. So make sure you tune in for it. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Good.